5 seriously strange beliefs humans held throughout history. Before we start, I would want you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Insane Worlds. 5. Orgasms for the insane? In the early 20th century, a common belief among physicians was that women did not experience sexual desire. This meant that female orgasms were viewed as problematic. When it happened, doctors felt it was something that needed to be solved. At the time, experts believed a woman's sexuality was not important to her mental and physical health. One of the most famous physicians who espoused this belief was Sigmund Freud. He suggested clitoral stimulation could lead to psychosis in women. That view led to many women being institutionalized. Women who were unable to have vaginal orgasms were viewed as imbalanced and masculine. Some were even labeled as lesbians, which was also considered a mental illness. This negative perception of the female orgasm and female sexuality was prevalent in many Western cultures at the time. To deal with the supposed problem of female hysteria, or sexual frustration, the vibrator was invented. Physicians used it to treat women and relieve their hysteria. This belief reinforced the idea that women were merely receptacles for male anatomy. Doctors assured the world that women were incapable of experiencing true sexual desire. 4. Train troubles for the fairer sex. Throughout history, new technological advancements have been met with fear and resistance. In the modern age, the rise of things like artificial intelligence and 5G is no exception. This fear is not a recent development, though. In fact, it is as old as the Industrial Revolution. In fact, when the first locomotive was introduced in the late 19th century, people were afraid that the high speed, which was only 50 miles per hour or 80 kilometers per h at the time, would cause women's uteruses to fly out of their bodies. Doctors worried that women were too dainty and sensitive for high-speed travel, and at the time, 50 miles per hour was truly cutting edge, which left society scared of what might happen. There was also a fear that the human body, regardless of gender, could melt if exposed to those speeds. Train travelers at the time were counseled to be cautious with how often they took their trips. The thought was that traveling too often by train could expose people to unsafe imbalances in their health, even driving them insane. Of course, we know now that this was an absurd worry. 3. The sun isn't hot. The sun is an essential source of life on Earth. It provides heat and light to sustain life. However, the sun's surface is not hospitable to living organisms. Seems obvious, right? But it wasn't back in 1795. William Herschel, a renowned astronomer who discovered Uranus, proposed a bizarre theory that held that the sun was not just a star but a gigantic planet. Herschel argued that if the other planets in our solar system were capable of sustaining life, then the sun could too. He hypothesized that the sun was not hot, but rather cold. It was covered, he argued, in a luminous material, or perhaps it was an extremely reflective ocean that could support life adapted to the bright conditions. Herschel's theory was based on newly found sunspots. He suggested they were possibly points on the planet well beyond the atmosphere, or perhaps they were rocky peaks being exposed by the tides of an ocean. Yet, despite Herschel's reputation and achievements, his ideas were dismissed by the scientific community. The public followed him for a while, but the experts didn't. Herschel's theory never gained acceptance by scientists then, and certainly not now. Today we know the sun is not a planet but a star. 2. The cosmos aren't hot, either. In 1912, Hans Horbiger and his partner Philip Fauth proposed a theory that shook the scientific community. They posited that the planets, stars, and even humans were all made of ice. The duo claimed the Milky Way galaxy was formed when a massive star collided with a dead star filled with water. That resulted in the creation of ice, they argued, which soon formed the Milky Way and several other solar systems. At first, the greater scientific community rejected this theory. After all, it lacked mathematical evidence and physical proof. But Horbiger dismissed these concerns, saying that calculations could mislead people. He also threatened that anyone who opposed his theory would be treated as an enemy. Despite the criticisms, Horbiger tried to popularize his theory anyway. He hoped that public support would force scientists to accept it. Although mainstream science did not accept Horbiger's ideas, some very problematic thinkers did. They were Nazis who were quickly rising to power in Germany by the late 1920s, and they believed Horbiger's theory was superior to those created by Jewish scientists. This ideology gained momentum in Germany after World War I as anti-Semitism was on the rise. The Nazis soon fully adopted Horbiger's ideas and other horrifying beliefs. 1. The Earth doesn't lie at the center. Before the end of the 2nd century, it was widely believed Earth was the center of the universe. This view persisted among ancient observers who believed that the sun, stars, and the moon all revolved around our home planet. Some of the famous philosophers of that time, such as Aristotle and Ptolemy, supported this idea. The early Christian belief also reinforced this perspective. Historic faith adherents were sure God placed Earth at the center of the universe to make it unique and special, and without high-tech instruments to counter their thoughts, who was there to question this model? However, with the development of scientific knowledge and understanding, this view was gradually invalidated. After several centuries, the heliocentric model emerged as a superior alternative. That opinion proposes that all bodies in the solar system revolve around the sun. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.